Hey, welcome back to the show. It's time for Reflect and Connect. So I'm not sure if you know this, but a 2019 study found that African Americans have the highest lifetime prevalence of PTSD, 8.7% higher compared to their white counterparts, 7.4%, Latino 7.6%, and Asians 4%. Joining us today to unpack why the numbers are so high in the African American community is none other than our contributor, mental health specialist, Ms. Cherlette McCullough.
Yeah, welcome back to the show.
Welcome back to the show.
Woo.
Excited to be back.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we know PTSD comes in so many different forms, and especially I think right now there's so much going on in the news and personally.
That's true.
My question is really and truly, because I know anxiety comes with PTSD too,
Right.
but how do you identify if you're experiencing PTSD?
That's a good question, Candice, and you are right. PTSD is an anxiety disorder. So when we hear disorder, that means it's going to last for a while.
Right.
But the criteria for PTSD is it can be diagnosed in adults and children over 6 years old. So if the criteria is, and it's kind of difficult too because it's a lot of criteria, but just to make it quick, some of the things that exposes you to PTSD is if you've experienced a death, if you've experienced a murder, or you were told about it, or if you have constant interaction with someone that it happened to, you can also experience PTSD, which goes into some of the reasons why our numbers are so much higher when it comes to experiencing PTSD. And it has to happen at least 30 days after the event happened. So, you know, it's normal to have some stress after you experience a death or someone tells you about a death or a sexual violence or something like that. It's normal to be worked up, right? But if you're still worked up about that incident 30 days after it happened, that's PTSD.
Oh.
Right.
So it's not right away, so you have to wait. That's interesting.
So right away, that's normal, right? That would be
Anxiety.
acute stress, right? That would be like acute stress or acute anxiety.
Right.
But if it lasts 30 days after, and you think about our community, all the things that we've witnessed recently.
A lot.
3 months ago, 6 months ago.
Right.
We're still traumatized by that stuff. Stuff that happened to George Floyd, stuff that happened to just people that we know, right? We're still traumatized by that. And then think about it. When we are on the highway and we're stopped by the police, and it's nighttime. What do we think about?
PTSD.
That's PTSD because we witnessed it. It may not have happened to us, but we know people. We've seen these stories over and over about it and what has happened, right? So when we see the police at night or stop, what we're like, oh God,
It's
am I gonna
like
lose my life?
automatically.
Absolutely. And remember, trauma stays in our bodies, right? It's fueled by our thoughts.
Okay.
So PTSD has a lot to do with your thoughts.
Okay. So I want to ask, do you think that the reason we're so undiagnosed is because as Black people, we're kind of just taught to just brush stuff off and just keep it? And I'm going to give y'all an example. Like, this really happened in real life, y'all. So first day of our vacation.
Yes.
My neighbor in my apartment, and it's a white couple lives next door, the girl was suicidal. So they called the cops. Some kind of way they ended up in the hallway. She charges at the officers with the knives, and they shot her and killed her right in front of my front door. So, like, I couldn't leave the apartment all day because my door was a crime scene. They left her dead body.
Hear it?
I woke up to the gunshots. This happened at 12 at noon. They left her dead body outside for 6 hours.
Oh, my
So
God.
anyway, the days go by, and I was talking to one of my friends, and I was like, I don't know why I'm so depressed and I'm jumpy. And he was like, bro, you just seen your neighbor's dead body. You should be messed up. And then it clicked like, dang, I was just ready to keep going on with life like nothing happened. Like I didn't even think that it should have affected me.
Absolutely.
And I think as Black people, that's how we all kind of think. We should
have
just
normalized. Well, you think about it culturally, we have been taught to normalize
trauma. Yeah.
So bad.
We've been taught to normalize.
Yeah.
Like, keep going, walk over it and just keep walking.
going.
Yeah, but that stuff, you see what I said? It's fueled by your thoughts. See how your thoughts, it goes back. You had those intrusive thoughts, it goes right back to it. And if it's been 30 days after, that's PTSD.
So my question is, how do you, because I've had nightmares about it as late as 2 nights ago. Every time I walk out my door, I'm a little jumping. I'm like, why am I jumping? I'm just going to the elevator. But how do you deal with that? Like,
Go on this Cherlette.
that's why I'm here. Help me, Cherlette.
Look at that boy.
And Kris, it may not be long term,
Right.
but you do need someone that's trained, someone that's educated that can really help you walk through that. So one of the things we do once we diagnose you with that, one of the treatments that we do is CBT, cognitive behavior therapy, and basically, in layman's terms, we try to help you reprogram your brain around those thoughts that
That's
you're seeing.
good. That's good.
But
Okay,
it's
so we
tough.
always talk about trauma, right? But can illness be a PTSD too?
Well, this is the thing. You can be traumatized by that illness. The thoughts of passing away, the thoughts of it not going away, or the thoughts of someone else you know who've had this illness and how it ended for them. Absolutely, you can. Yes.
Ooh, we don't usually talk about that because
We
you
don't.
see the other side of PTSD, which is the violence, the domestic violence.
Absolutely.
But nobody talks about
Just
that,
trauma.
the trauma, the
Yeah.
help part. If a parent had it and
Yeah.
you're like, oh my God, is this going to be,
Yeah.
that's a form of PTSD.
So when you think about PTSD, think about trauma. A lot of people like to think about when they say PTSD, people, veterans.
Veterans,
Right.
yeah.
But it's literally about trauma, post-traumatic, just what it says, after the trauma has
Traumatic.
happened. Disorder means that it will go on for a while.
and it
yeah,
could
it's
be yours
ongoing.
and someone else.
Absolutely.
On for the holidays, so I didn't have his little help around the house, so he came back last night.
I'm sure he was excited to get back home.
He was,
Yeah.
and so was the dog.
Oh, Tyson was gone.
Tyson has a whole jail cell. So my husband found this new cage,
Okay.
and it literally looks like a jail cell. I have to take a picture and
You
bring
need
it
to
tomorrow.
take a picture.
It's so sad.